All right. Now listen.
Let me say this. Let me just say this about, like I said, the reason I fuck with Trump is because he's shaking up the whole political arena. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy that's coming in, he's saying what he feels, whether you agree with him or not, whether you want to call him a racist, but at least I'd rather have a motherfucker that called me nigga into my face than a motherfucker that called me friend. But he gonna redline me when it come to mortgages,
and these new white
jobs, and all that other shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'd rather know my enemy. He says I'm his enemy, and we can go from there. Versus a motherfucker like Clinton who gonna come and kiss some black babies. She is so true in front of your face.
The worst.
The bitch said, they asked her, what do you have in your purse? What do you always keep? Tell me the number one thing you keep in your purse. You know what she said?
What she said?
Hot sauce.
Yeah, I saw that.
I ain't met a black person yet that kept some hot sauce in their purse.
Al Sharpton didn't even never say that.
No, I don't know. My mother, my grandmother, my sisters, even the women that I've met or dated, I've never met a black lady who kept a bottle of hot sauce in their purse.
She only kept it to come to a venue where black people were and say, I fucked with y'all. But yo, here's the problem. Why are not black people insulted? Why are we the only two?
Are we not intelligent enough? What is fucking
now I would like to say.
So you telling me you're not smart enough to know?
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
Or something.
What's up, bro?
I don't understand. What is it about black folks?
So when white folks come to us and they say, "Oh, I like rap music too. I like this too. I eat hot sauce too," why do we fuck around and be like, "Oh shit, I want to adopt you"? What's our problem?
I don't understand that.
What's our problem? You know? I tell you what a problem is. I know the problem.
I'm still at a loss for these negative qualities that enabled Clinton to become the first black president. I'm like,
but I got the answer.
Okay.
Shadow slavery, bro. Like yo, when you destroy the mind of a person, imagine.
And you know why that's not gonna fly?
Why?
Because you got the Renaissance era that we lived through. You got the Reconstruction era that we lived through. You got those various Black Wall Streets that we had.
Those are real errors.
Hold on. All of this came at a certain time between 1960, what was it, 1965 and the Reconstruction era lasted from what? 1867 to like 1879.
So really to about, call it 1900.
Okay. And then you had the Renaissance era, right? Which was in the 1920s.
Which is from about
1920 to like 1935.
Which is about we'll call the Renaissance era. We're rounding.
Yeah.
We'll call it 1870 to 1920.
Okay. Now, so we know that for you to accomplish the things back then, you had more black businesses. You have more black success than you have 2016, right? Then from 1870 to 1920,
you know why?
More black success.
You know why? You know why? Because segregation was the best thing.
Okay, hold on. So when you say chattel slavery, that can't be the answer, because immediately after slavery, we, like they white folks always used to say, and I'm a Morris quote, we lifted ourselves up from our bootstraps.
No, we did not, and that's the problem.
Well, who lifted us up then? If we did,
a few of us. And here I'm gonna go back to chattel slavery.
Okay, show me.
Yo, here's the thing. We call the Harlem Renaissance a birth in African American culture. It's a birth. Yo, it didn't last long. That's why we mad now.
But it didn't last long because of us.
Can I finish? Go ahead. It didn't last long, bro.
Okay.
It didn't last long. Chattel slavery was a real thing.
Okay,
Yo, it was such a real thing that even these burps of let's call them enlightenment. Even these burps in African American enlightenment didn't last long. What? You got a burp for what? A decade?
But what I'm saying,
hold on, I'm not done.
You missing out. Now
you let me finish my thought though. But let me, okay, fine, and catch me. But let me finish this. Say you got a burp for about a decade, 20 years. Before that 20 years, the Harlem Renaissance, or call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, here we are now in 2016, And chattel slavery is such a real thing in the minds of black people because like back then, and say the Harlem Renaissance, crack didn't hit yet. You know what I'm saying? You still had motherfuckers that had a dual household. However poor you were, however poor you were or not, you still had a dual household. Now I'ma say something, and real talk, once the 80s hit, shit got really realer as far as chemical warfare on us, like it was fucking the smallpox of the natives.
Right, yeah. Now look, this is where I diverge and I disagree. And this is why I say it couldn't be chattel slavery because the back you call it a birth, I call it a magnificent. That's between, like we rounded it off from 1870. No, that's 50 years from 1870 to 1920. But the Renaissance went through the 20s, so you actually got to go from 1870 to 1930.
I'm gonna give it 18.
Right,
I'm gonna give it 18. And I'm rounding. 1820 to 1890 to 1920. That's it. I'm gonna give it that.
Okay, so you making it.
I'm gonna give it 30 years.
Okay, 30 years. So for one generation, you had a lot of success.
Yeah. But
hold on, let me finish.
Yeah, you're right.
You had a lot of success, right? You know what I'm saying? But now you gotta say it wasn't chattel slavery that brought about our downfall. It wasn't like he said we had a birth, what you would call a birth of success, and then we said, oh shit, you know what? We doing too well. Let's get back into this chattel slavery mentality. No, that's not how I see, or what I have studied that how it came about our downfall. What happened? Our downfall came about because of our benevolent nature.
Expound upon that, please.
Well, when I say we come from Africa. Africa is a benevolent continent where, I mean, you can walk down the street, food.
You been there? You been there? Please don't talk about where you ain't been.
Well, listen, I don't gotta be there to
yo, you a Jersey nigga. Please don't talk about what you don't know.
You talked about the Renaissance. Have you been there?
I know about that study, but
exactly.
so don't tell me
what I can't mention.
I've walked through Harlem.
Let me speak and I walked through Harlem.
Okay.
My grandmother.
Hold on. Before you,
I let you speak.
Nah, but I'm gonna say something about the Harlem Renaissance.
Afford me the consideration to let me get my point off.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So what I'm saying is this: even though we had that chattel slavery, when we came out and we had this, as you would call, bursts of success. You know what I'm saying? We didn't regenerate because we remembered that we were supposed to be slaves and we were unworthy of success. What happened was you had saboteurs. You had white folks that was coming in burning down Black Wall Street, Rosewood, and all them kind of places, right? You had white folks coming in and saying, whoa, these people are gaining economic success too quickly, educational success too quickly. Let's burn a town down. So you want to talk about a motherfucking mass shooting the other day in Florida? Let's talk about the mass hangings and the mass city use burning of my peoples when we decided to lift ourselves up from our bootstrap. So you can't say, oh, Black rebellion came about without mentioning these people that came and brought about our downfall.
You're right.
That had nothing to do with chattel slavery.
You're right.
That had everything to do with.
That's where
that had everything to do with people sabotaging our success.
I was watching something.
And then redlining us.
Okay, I was watching.
And excluding us from the GI Bill. Excluding us from being able to.
When you point to me, I'll speak. Yo, I'm not going to interrupt you. Go ahead.
But
I ain't going to interrupt you.
I have met with
when it's time for me, I'll
let you talk.
Look, when it's time for me, just point at me.
I heard. Okay. So what I'm continuing to try to say is, it has nothing to do with this chattel slavery. Everybody keep going back to this chattel slavery. We so strong that chattel slavery, once we got out of chattel slavery, we left chattel slavery with nothing. With nothing. It wasn't like they said, well, my man, take this, take that, and y'all go over there and do y'all thing. When they released it, the Emancipation Proclamation came about, we was released with nothing. We was homeless, hobos, traveling in the country without nothing, only the clothes on our fucking backs. Okay? And we started towns, we started communities, we started building wealth.
You are correct.
Am I lying?
No, I just said.
All right, so, and the reason we lost that was when these crackers said, oh, y'all moving too fast.
You're correct.
Y'all moving too fast.
You're correct.
So they burn shit down, they start hanging niggas, they start talking about we raping their women and all this other goofy dumb shit. The Klan came about. The Klan came about because why? They was like, oh no, these niggas, you know what I'm saying? And they justified it with this fake ass rape. And then not only that, but then they came with the sharecropping schemes. Then they came with the Jim Crow laws. I mean, what can Trump do that we have already lived through and still came out with success?
When it's time for me, point at me.
So that's why I say, bring the motherfucker.
I'm waiting for you to point at me.
There you go. Go ahead.
Thank you. Am I tagged the fuck in? Thank you. So here's what I'm saying.
I want to hear this.
About 95% of what you're saying, I agree with. But what I'm speaking to you is a generational thing. And what I'm saying to you is like, why was I watching CNN the other day? And there was a doctor talking about chattel slavery. Some white woman. I'm sorry if I don't remember her name. And what she was saying is, not only have there been psychological repercussions culturally, socially, between throughout the African diaspora that were victims of chattel slavery. Not only is it psychological, real talk, and not only is it social. Why is she saying, she's on CNN, why is she saying that what we have as a people been through has been we're affected right down to our chromosomes. And she got proof. Like chattel slavery, that's why I call the Harlem Renaissance a birth. That's why I call that's why I call these that's why I call these things a birth. Because what ends up happening, chattel slavery was so much of a monster that we got burps and we set back. We got burps, and it's not just one thing.
But when you say setback,
you tagged me. You tagged me in.
Don't just say setback. What was the setback?
The fuck in.
What was the setback?
Am I tagged in?
Answer the question, brother.
Am I tagged in?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. As I was saying, chattel slavery has been such a monster to our people and people of the Pan-African diaspora of the
All right, go ahead.
So, yeah, I just want to say to our viewers, like, I think, and this is me, I think what we saying is a bunch of the same thing, and I think we come from two different angles, and I actually think that's why we work. I really don't have too much to disagree with what you said, other than what I would just say is that to everything you and I have both said, is what I would ask for my people to do, especially the younger generations, is to understand generational truth. And if you're astute enough to understand what I said, then you understand what I said.
Well, I want to close by saying this, you know what I mean? I just want my people, you know what I mean, to not be duped with the branding. We sometimes we get caught up in brands, you know. And when I say brands, I'm not just talking about the Louis Vuittons and the Gucci's and the Nike and the Jordan. I'm talking about the Clinton brand. I'm talking about the Obama brand. Absolutely. I'm talking about the Democratic brand.
Absolutely.
I need our people to become more astute with politics, to learn, to read through the bullshit where time and time again, these Democrats that we are so beholden to sell us down the river.
What would happen if our people, as a people, African American people in this nation, imagine what would happen if we became as a whole independent?
Started an independent political party, or you mean just said, you know what, we ain't gonna deal with the rest of the
I mean, across the board. I mean, it doesn't mean, what I'm saying doesn't mean you can't be a Democrat. It don't mean you can't be a Republican. I mean, what would happen if our people in this country independently thought for themselves? African Americans.
White folks are shitting their pants.
They shit on themselves. And that's what I want.
And they start hating niggas again. See, the thing about this is, with the zero birth rate of the white man nowadays, right?
It is a zero birth rate.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why he mad.
He mad because he see his country. He see that
it's brown,
it's browning, it's blacking it, and it's browning, right?
Yeah.
And so he getting nervous because he's losing.
There are books about
his he's losing his majority.
The angriest motherfucker in the world right now is the white man.
Naturally, he's a hurt animal.
Yeah.
Cornered.
And that's why he's fucking lashing out like
yes, he is. And that's why. And what we need to understand is that. And what we need, and now we got to go into the science of how we combat that.
I want to end it there. Brother's gonna work it out. I swear to God.